gonna do a unpopular opinions. I asked on my Instagram page last night, I was just like, hey, answer this prompt for me. And in the little, you know, answer question prompt, I said, unpopular opinion, but I hate ... And then I got so many, I was just like, I don't have time to do like respond to all these stories. We're just gonna do a video because I usually, you know, get met like 5 to 10, I feel like is the response I get for the questions box, but there were so many, it was enough for a video. So that's what we're doing today. So if you like hearing about other people's unpopular opinions, let's get into reacting to your unpopular opinions. Let's go ahead, we're just gonna dive into this palette and grab the one and only matte. I'm okay. We're gonna put the black in the outer corner and then blend it up into the crease with this little brush right here. Actually, since I'm doing so much crease work, because I'm gonna try to just use only this shade in the outer corner because that's the only one they give you, let me get a bit of a fluffier brush when it comes to the outer corner. Like this, the E25 I think this is. Yeah, E25 should be good because I can pack it on and then use the tip to blend. So let's just dive right in. Oh my goodness, I'm just going in the order that I received it. We're starting with a juicy one. Again, if you forget the prompt was unpopular opinion, but I hate ... And the very first one was unearthly cosmetics. Oh my goodness, I feel like that's a little, there's some tea there that I'm not aware of because I don't know, maybe I'm out of the loop or whatnot, but I didn't think there was anything really wrong with unearthly cosmetics unless it is just like, I feel like once brands get super popular and get talked about so much, it almost is like just too much and people are like, I'm tired and sick and tired of this brand. So I don't know if it's that type of thing, but like I said, the prompt was unpopular opinion, but I hate. So I have no idea. I'm so curious. I almost want to like, you know, some of these unpopular opinions, I want to respond back and be like, okay, tell me more. Like, why? Did you try and not like it? Do you just not like how popular they are? Because I totally get it. Sometimes brands get so very annoying whenever they have a launch, or, you know, it just in general, like kind of like Morphe, you know, not that Morphe had a lot of other things going for it as to why people didn't like it, but you know, in that same vein, they just get so popular, people are just like anything but. So I don't know if it's that, but unearthly cosmetics for me, I had nothing but great things to say about the quality. I guess the shimmers weren't anything out of this world if I remember correctly, but they were nice, they weren't bad. Again, I'm just taking the one shimmer, and since I only, or the one shimmer, one matte, since I only have one matte to work with, I'm just gonna take this one shade and blend it up. And I am going to reach into another palette just because I can't help it. I can't just do this one matte. So I'm going to dip into a little bit of green because I like green just to liven it up. Anyway, so yeah, this one, unpopular opinion. I really can't say like, oh yeah, I agree. I definitely do think it's very unpopular because I feel like at this point, definitely Unearthly Cosmetics is quite popular, but yeah. Juicy one to start out. Let me know if I'm missing anything when it comes to Unearthly Cosmetics, because like I feel like anything I've heard about the brand has been good, both like behind the scenes. Like I haven't heard anything behind the scenes or anything wrong with their launches or whatnot. Maybe some crazy launches, but honestly, I tend to give brands a lot of grace around that aspect just because in my world, like when I'm into a lot of the indie, they're indie brands. Usually it's like 1 or 2 people working, and they often have like families. So like me doing a YouTube channel, I totally understand how crazy it can be. Trust me, I am the worst person to probably work with when it comes to sponsorships, and I always feel bad for the person that Anna Louise that works with me, because sometimes I'm just like, I'm working on it. It might be down to the wire, but like I'll get there. But I'm just really bad at responding to her emails because it's just, life is crazy and all that. So anyway, I'm going off on a rabbit trail. All that to say, I tend to give indie brands a lot of grace when it comes to like, you know, websites crashing or just taking a long time to ship, because I have run a website before. I know how, I mean, I still have mine on, but it's kind of like a dormant website, but I know how crazy and how difficult and like too much traffic can be for websites. I know how crazy it is to work with the hosting company or the hosting site and the, oh man, I'm rusty on this, but there's 2 different things that have to work in tandem. Sometimes 3 different things that have to work in tandem in order for a website to run smoothly. So it can be crazy. So anyway, I don't know of anything Unearthly Cosmetics has done besides maybe, like I said, maybe she just doesn't, you know, doesn't like Unearthly Cosmetics just because they're so hyped right now. Okay, next one was multi-chromes. Some shiftiness is fun, but overall I want color on my eyes and color and pan to match. I can relate. When multi-chromes first started coming out, I really had no interest in trying them because I was just like, it's more annoying than anything. I think the first time I dipped into a multi-chrome, I was like, oh, this is a pretty shade. I put it on my eye and I was like, whoa. that's the wrong color. I think I even did it on camera for the Juvia's Place Walhalla palette. I think it was the first time I tried a really good vibrant multichrome. I'm gonna dive into these single shimmers that I have from Copacetic Cosmetics. I think I'm just gonna take a little bit of this. I don't know if it'll look good, but I feel like a little bit of green will go good with this kind of like smoky black we got going on. It'll be a little pop of something fun in the inner corner. I don't know, and it's green. Yes, it's green. Anyway, so I can totally relate to that whole like, I just want it to match. When I reach into something, I want it to look like that when I put it on my eyes. Sometimes I'm just not in the mood to figure out, especially like with multichrome sometimes as I'm playing with them more, I have to like swatch them and look at them and kind of turn around and think about what is the color you're gonna see the most straight on, because that's obviously the one you're gonna see mostly, and then think about the shiftiness if it matches. It takes a lot more effort for me, I should say. So I can totally appreciate just wanting whatever you see in the pan, that's what's gonna look on the eyes so you can do your makeup and move on with your day. However, I have tried some pretty special multichromes. The most recent I think was in the Nomad Royal Europe palette, Royal Europe. I always want to swap those, and it is totally gorgeous. So they are really pretty, and especially if you can get the combo right with the colors that you use with it, like the mattes that you use with it. Oh my goodness, it can be so pretty. But also I just like a simple color too. So that one is definitely unpopular because I feel like multichromes are super popular right now, especially in the indie world, I suppose. I don't know if they're still popular in the mainstream, but they're very popular in the indie world. And I think I've said it even before on my channel, I'm someone who I prefer more just straight up color over all the shiftiness and sparkles, even though I do enjoy playing with it every now and then. Okay, let's keep it moving, Katie. When people push the right way to do a beauty step. Okay, so when people are pushing like, this is the right way to do a beauty step. Yeah, yeah, that is kind of annoying. I mean, there is some sense in where'd I get, oh, the eyeshadow. I was like, why do I have blue on my finger? There is some sense in like, there's some steps, especially when it comes to like skin, so like more face makeup and skin tone, skincare, stuff like that, where it's like, there is more of a right way to do makeup in a sense if you want it to look a certain way, but also at the same time, like, makeup standards change so often. I said that weird. Makeup standards change so often. I mean, it used to be like, you know, I remember when I first started getting into makeup, it was like as matte as you could get it. So all of the steps and all of the products were just focused on keeping your face matte. And then now we're in like the super dewy, I don't even know what we're in now, but like a few years ago, it was like dewy. It just looked like you just squirted your face with a water bottle type of dewy. So those always change, and to do those type of trends and stuff like that, you know, requires different steps. So it's like even beauty standards, like to do it the right way, the right way is always changing. So to say that there's only one way to do makeup is just kind of frustrating. And yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, at least in the sphere I'm in. I feel like a lot of people are very much like, do your makeup how you want. And maybe because I'm, sorry, I know this is loud, but maybe because I'm more into like the colorful eyeshadow. So as a general rule of thumb, I feel like super colorful eyeshadow is definitely more like, oh, you know, has more rules in the mainstream makeup community, but in the indie world it's like, wear what you want, wear it however you like it, wear whatever colors you want, put whatever colors you want together. Even if it's ugly, it's just like, oh, that's a vibe, and not ugly in a mean way. But even if, like, I've done some very questionable eye looks where I look back at it, I'm like, that's ugly. But in the moment, I was like, it was kind of fun. So I always like seeing interesting eyeshadow combinations or interesting color placements and stuff like that. Okay, we're gonna dive into, they're almost all the same color, so it doesn't really matter. These two definitely are like the same color. This one's a little more silver leaning, so I think I'll go with that because I feel like it'll look the best with this pop of green. And then maybe I'll take a touch of this on the outer edge. I don't know, like I said, I feel like it's all the same, but let's see how magical and breathtaking Pat McGrath is. I feel like I should be more hyped to use it because it's Pat McGrath, but I mean the shimmer, or the matte was fine. It's a little light on this end, so I'll probably, after I finish doing the shimmers, pack on a little bit more black out here just because it's looking a little bit, what do you call, a little bit, I'm blanking on the word, sheer in places, but this side looks fine, so maybe it's just me. Blush on the nose. I don't understand blush on the nose. I barely understand blush on the cheeks. I feel like a lot of people like really harsh, or not harsh, but just like vibrant blush. I don't understand that, but also at the same time, I know it's just a me thing because I'm someone who loves a good contour and bronze, and there's like, I'm sure people look at me and be like, why does she have so much brown on her cheek? So I totally get, you know, I am the same way when it comes to bronzer. I'm just waiting for this to dry a sec. So I'm sure, you know, people feel probably very similar for blush as I do for bronzer. So I get it, but I don't understand it on the nose. I feel like throughout the day I rub my nose enough and wipe my nose and just mess with my nose, and allergy season, and I have cats and all that getting hair off my nose, and I have a child who's on my hip and likes to grab at my nose and mouth. I feel like I do enough around there that I don't need to put any pink on it. Halfway through the day it's already pink because any foundation is rubbed off. So anyway, I totally agree with that one. I don't know if it's unpopular though. I think it's getting more unpopular because I feel like the blush craze is ending. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bullet lipsticks. I don't know, I like bullet lipsticks. Not to change the subject too much, but this shimmer is lovely. Is it worthy of the price of Pat McGrath in my book? No, but it is a lovely shimmer. It's gorgeous, glides on. It would have to apply itself to be worth like some of the prices that I've seen for Pat McGrath. But bullet lipsticks, I don't know, I like bullet lipsticks. I'm trying to think if there's a preferred lipstick. I don't know, I think bullets are nice because they're a nice compact shape. They're not too long like some of the pencil lipsticks are. They're not a wand, so they don't get like super dirty when you pull them out and whatnot. I don't know, they're just a standard size. I wonder if she likes liquid lipsticks more. Like I wonder what's her preferred for lip products. What's her preferred application slash packaging method? I feel like a bullet lipstick is so classic. Like there's been bullet lipsticks for ages, decades. Very pretty. I'm going to take a touch of, I will go in with the darkest shimmer. Let's see how dark the shimmer is. Alright, next one is dark lip liner with just a clear gloss. I'm not even a lip liner person, so I totally agree with this one. I don't understand even like lip liner and then a different color gloss on top where you can still like see the line. I don't get that. I understand the idea for lip liner, especially to like define your lips and whatnot, kind of create that nice sharp edge before putting on a lipstick, but like to put it one color and then do something different on top, I'm just like, I don't particularly love that look. Now an ombre lipstick though with the right lip color for like the right style, like I wouldn't do it just around the house look, that can be a really cool look. Especially like on Instagram and Facebook where it's more artistic. Those looks are actually really cool. I like it when people do a really cool ombre to the lips. Now it's not, like I said, not practical. I would never do it every day, but in a nice like photo shoot type of method or a situation, I think those are so cool. Not to say that you can't walk around with an ombre, but like I'd never do it for that. I think I've done an ombre lip once or twice for Instagram, and it's a cool look, and like I feel like a lot of people can give it a really cool, it's a cool look, it's neat, but I think I'm getting off topic, so let's grab another one. Palette releases and sneak peeks without swatches on multiple skin tones on various lighting. Yes, palette releases, yeah. Sneak peeks, I feel like it's, I don't know, it's a sneak peek. I don't think they need to have everything out at that time. Sneak peeks in general, kind of, depending on how they do it. If they do like a slow, like more of a slow launch, kind of like Nomad Cosmetics, I like their sneak peeks where they show a couple colors in each. But sometimes when palettes or brands will do like a sneak peek where they show a bit of the eyeshadow palette in like black and white, and then they say coming soon, like next year or in months and months, I'm just like, why are you making me wait that long? It's more frustration than excitement. But if it's like a slow launch like Nomad doing the sneak peeks, I personally don't mind it. And Nomad I feel like is pretty good at before launch. I want to say before launch or right at launch. They have like 3 sets of swatches that they will post up before, either right when it launches or right before it launches, so that people have that information, which I think is really great. I know there are several brands who are, lots of brands who are guilty of either just giving one type of swatch or taking forever to share their swatches, or even like sharing the arm swatches, even if they do multiple skins, but like after launch for a while, and it's like, that's information I need before I decide if I want it. But the most recent one I feel like that I saw was Odin's Eye, their newest launch. They do 3 skin tones, but they're all like pale, like light, pale, and paler. Like they're not, unless the lighting in their studio or the way they edit it is like super deceptive and it's just very washed out. It always just doesn't seem very helpful, especially too because I think they do computerized swatches. I don't know, the swatches all look very much the same regardless of the person it's on, is like in a square. I don't know, they're not helpful swatches. I see those as just like fun artistic swatches. They're not really informative, that's the word. They don't really help inform the prospective buyer whether it'll work well or not. And I totally agree that like you should have a variety of swatches, because even me, I'm not anyone who's super dark, but I like to see swatches on all of the ranges from light to dark because it's very helpful. I think Gina even commented this on our Instagram. I'm blanking on what her Instagram handle is. I'm so sorry, Gina. I'll leave it linked down below because I'm the worst. But anyway, she was commenting about how like it's helpful because you can see how these swatches and things look on different skin tones, because that's even helpful to me. And I agree, if like I wanted to use a dark base or a super light base, and the colors can show up differently, so it's informative to know across the board for anyone who's thinking about buying a palette to see how the colors show up on the different undertones. So yeah, that is definitely, I don't think it's an unpopular opinion, because I definitely think it's becoming more and more popular for sure. It's more and more talked about, and some brands are starting to do a lot better at that. And well, I guess I should say some indie brands. I feel like I don't really pay a ton of attention to mainstream palette launches just because they don't really excite me, so I have no idea, but I feel like indie brands are doing better, and hopefully they'll continue to do better. But yeah, I do agree that that's something that I'm hoping to continue to see improvement on for sure. Okay, that's probably the most annoying thing to watch me talk about as I do a liner, because I know I talk incredibly slow. When I see multiple reviews on something without suggestions of possible improvements. Multiple reviews without... Okay, so kind of implying that like, yeah, things can be great, but there's always something to improve upon. Or a palette could be really awesome, but if everyone's just saying it's awesome, it's not very helpful to the brand owner to improve, or even the consumer to know what could be the possible shortcomings of the product. Yeah, I think that's a valid opinion for sure. I feel like I can get that way too, especially with a brand that I really like. I can just sit there and just be like, oh, I love it. Or just not even a brand, but a product that I really like. Because when you really like something, I feel like you can gloss over the quirks of it, you could say. You could call it a quirk, because if you really like something, something that someone who doesn't love that product and uses it can be more annoyed with it than you can, because you just love the product so much, if that makes sense at all. So I can totally understand that, and I often catch myself just wanting to do a review where I'm like, yes, love it, it's awesome, and it's like, no, Katie, take a minute, think about it, like, is there anything that you noticed while using it that's like, someone who isn't like as crazy about the color story or the type of eye looks that you created, they might not be crazy about that little quirk of it that you can so easily write off. Anyway, here's the eyeshadow look. I didn't really comment on it. The shimmers are beautiful. The mattes were nice. I don't think I ever went back and did this matte. The mattes. There's no mattes. It's matte. Only one matte. Was nice. Is it the most life-changing black that I've ever tried? No. Is it a good black? Yes. So take that for what you will. But I feel like I have a lot of good blacks in my collection as well, so at least it's not, at least it's not a bad black. For being the only matte, you gotta make sure you put a good one in. I feel like mattes, blacks are always a little tricky to have to blend and use only that shadow, because you can get that kind of patchy look as you're trying to blend it out to a gray, but it's probably more user error, but I do wish they'd give a little something to make that easier. Okay, let's just see if I can, let's see if I can talk faster, because I'm not going through these very fast. I'm sure you guys aren't surprised. Large false lashes. Yeah, I don't get the false lashes. I enjoy a false lash that can, like, make my lashes look bigger and stuff like that. That's super awesome. But I don't get the really, like, humongous ones that people wear, like, with no, like, kind of like no makeup. I see some people do it where they just, it looks like maybe they put on a ton of makeup, but the look you get at the end of the day is almost like that no makeup, but with ginormous lashes, and I'm just like, that's a little much. But that's just me personally. I know a lot of people love their lashes and whatnot, but for me, I can't do too big of a lash, because A, I feel like they're heavier, but it just looks a little too crazy, and B, I like my eyeshadow, so the thought of like putting on a huge lash to like cover up the eyeshadow, I'm like, no, I don't mind. I mean, some days like I'm so in a hurry, but like I'm so loving everything I put on my eyes, I just put a little bit of mascara to kind of define my lashes, but I don't want them to be super huge and hide and cover up what I did. So I'm kind of okay that I don't have amazingly crazy long lashes, and obviously I don't put on false lashes, even though I have a ton of false lashes, and like I said, I enjoy false lashes, but I definitely just don't have time for them right now, and just like the look of having fun eye makeup on, and then I feel like if you have fun eye makeup on, you're not really noticing if you have long lashes or short lashes, or if you can see your lashes or not see your lashes. So I like that. I'm going really light on my face makeup today, so this is like an everyday kind of face makeup that I would do that I'm going to be doing here. Someone else said overly edited makeup photos, and also someone said filtered makeup photos, which is, I don't know, kind of similar, so I'll just answer them together. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't edit my my photos personally, except for lighting. Like when I do, I guess I only do like eye pictures, so I try to make sure the lighting and the saturation is good, because a lot of times getting something nice and bright will wash away the color. So before I post on Instagram, I will go and add saturation until I feel like it looks like what I see in person, if that makes sense. But besides that, I don't do any editing, so I don't care. I don't have time to, honestly, but I also don't post my face a whole lot, so maybe that's why I can so easily say like, yeah, I don't edit my photos. But even back when I did, I wouldn't edit. I didn't like editing my photos, just because I want the things I post to look like me in real life, even though it doesn't look like me in real life, because I'm not posing perfectly when I'm out and about. But you know what I mean. I want it to still look realistic and like me in that sense. I feel like I have more on this side, so I'll put a little bit more. This is the YLS cream bronzer. Came in a BoxyCharm or a Ipsy. It's really nice. I've been using it a lot. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not a fan, but I mean, I feel like if you just follow the people that kind of have the same goals as you, or the same likes as you when it comes to makeup and whatnot, I don't really notice any, like, no one on my feed has overly edited photos, which I like. But at the same time, like, I don't really care. It doesn't like keep me up at night or anything. Not saying that this person it does, but for me personally, like, it's not such a I hate it. It's just like something that I personally don't like. Mascara reviews from people who wear falsies most of the time, even disclose. That was a Michaela shade. Why bother? Yeah, I'm not a lash person, so maybe that's like a falsies person, so maybe that's why I don't get it. But like people who wear false lashes and like wear mascara, I'm just like, why do you care what mascara you're wearing? Just buy the cheapest mascara possible, because you're gonna layer a ton of like you know, or not layer, but you're gonna put a huge lash on, so like it doesn't matter if the mascara is good or not, right? Am I just overthinking it or missing something? Like, is it super important to have really strong, thick, long, elongated lashes for falsies? I didn't think so. So yeah, I can agree with that one. Sure, I can see that. Fake freckles. Some fake freckles I feel like can be really flattering, but some people also I feel like go a little overboard. For me personally, I guess it's all personal preference, but yeah, I don't understand the fake freckles either. Like the fake freckle trend. I think if you have real like freckles, then you're like doing your makeup lightly to leave them exposed, or even doing your makeup and then kind of dotting back over. I think that's pretty. And even people who don't have it, sometimes I've seen people do like really light layer of freckles. I don't know, it's like a pretty effect. I can't imagine doing it every day though. I don't know, for me personally, like as a daily thing to add freckles, I feel like would be a lot of work just to have, I don't know, but people must like freckles to want to go through that effort to do it every day, so, you know, I guess that makes sense. But for me personally, I never understood that crazy, remember that crazy trend with faux freckles when all the makeup brands were coming out with those pens and stuff for faux freckles? I didn't understand it, but I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just not, it wasn't a trend for me. Okay, I like scent reviews. Am I the only one? Scent reviews. Do you mean like perfume, I think is what she's meaning? I'm sorry, I cannot be, this is probably a little bit unpopular because I can't be with you there. I don't care for perfume reviews, or maybe she means like candle? I don't really care for candle reviews either though, so I think you're alone in hearing that one. If I'm understanding you correctly, I can't think of a scent review that has to do with makeup. So I think she means like candles or perfumes. I don't know. I don't get excited for perfume. I am so bad at wearing perfume just because there's so many times throughout my life I like stop wearing perfume. Like when I'm pregnant, it makes me crazy nauseous, and then when I'm nursing, I don't like spraying stuff on my décolleté and neck area where my baby's gonna be, you know, in close contact or sucking, you know, touching with her mouth. So I am always out of the habit of putting on perfume. So it's just not high on my priority list or my my thoughts. I feel like my chin's a little red. Eyelash extensions, they always make people's eyes look heavier and messy, not cute. Yeah, I feel like, you know, doing those, what do they call it? Like putting the lashes on where they stay for weeks. I never I feel like more times than not, I don't like the look over I like the look. There are some times that I've seen people do them and I think they look nice for at least like a week or two, but when they start like falling out, they look a little rough. But then there's a lot of people who do them and get them done and it just looks so heavy, like they can't properly open their eyes and they're so thick it doesn't look comfortable or natural. It's just, I don't know, definitely not a personal preference of mine. Okay, my mascara is going to be horrible today, so don't judge the Thrive Cosmetics mascara. I did not remove all of the mascara off my lashes last night, so I am finding out where I left old mascara because it is not wanting to separate. But that is my fault and not the mascaras. This is the tubing mascara that I absolutely love from Thrive Cosmetics. It's really nice. Okay, let me grab another one while we keep trying to separate these. Lip injections. I don't know, I feel like lip injections in general, and almost like doing the extensions or whatever, I can't think of the word, but where they put the false lashes and not sew them to your eye, but they glue them and they stay there for a while. But almost similar to that, I feel like more often than not, that look is just not something I personally like, hence why I've never gotten them. But also too, I'm definitely that person who's just like, I would never go through the effort or time, even if I like the look and thought that like I would like the look on myself, I just would not want to go through all that time that it takes and the needles and stuff to get lip injections. Oh no, thank you. But this is also coming from someone who never dyed my hair and never even did highlights like when it was the craze and when I was a teen, because I didn't want to spend the time sitting in a chair getting that done. I've never ever colored my hair. This is my natural color since the day I was born. The thought of having to upkeep it and the time it would take to upkeep it and then the cost that it would take to upkeep it, I'm just like, nah, I like this color, I'm good. And I remember getting, not really teased, but I remember everyone would comment when I went through cosmetology school, because like cosmetology school is probably the cheapest time I could ever do my hair because they only charged me for the cost of the product for a stylist. So it was very cheap if I wanted to dye my hair during cosmetology school. So everyone in my class, everyone, like multiple times throughout the year and a half I think it was that I did it, was dyeing their hair. They were doing highlights, they were just trying all sorts of things, and everyone was always like, okay, you know, Katie, you gonna do dye your hair? I'll dye your hair. And I was just like, no, I'm good, because one, I could never decide what I wanted, and two, I would never want to sit there long enough to like just sit there every time to do it, but then to upkeep it was just like, no thanks. So I went into cosmetology school and left it, completed it without ever dyeing my hair, which was unusual. Not common for cosmetology school. But yeah, so that lip injections, same story. Like I can't imagine, even if I like the look of it, wanting to spend the money and the time to upkeep it. So that's probably where the majority of it. But I feel like, again, I think the person I've seen talk about it the most that I like is CC Suarez. She has a really good like information on it, on how you like, when you do lip injections, you also need to get them dissolved after a while, because then they start to bleed and stuff like that. And so I think that's why I probably don't really like the look of most lip injections, because I feel like maybe the everyday person, most people don't know that you're supposed to stay on top of it, and when it gets too much, you need to give your lips some time to dissolve it and, you know, start over. And that's why it has that really like bled over look to some people's looks. So maybe that's it. But yeah, in general, I feel like most times I'm not a fan personally. But yeah, in general, I can agree. Lip injections just definitely aren't for me. The hype around cream blush highlighter, and I see a lot of people using powder products over it anyways. I just did a cream bronzer and put powder over it. Oops, that's a chunk. Yeah, so don't look at me. Oh, you know what would be really cool with this? I'm gonna do, let's see if this one shows up. This green would be cool in the waterline. But yeah, I can't understand those people who do cream and blush and then put powder over top of it, or cream highlighter and put powder over top of it. What are they thinking? I'm totally being silly. Not trying to be rude to the person who left this this comment. But I think for me, the reason I do it is because I like to do the cream, because I feel like it does last longer, and it's just a nice, very skin-like. And then after I do all the powder on top, like with my foundation or whatever I'm doing for my base makeup, I like to go on with a little bit more bronzer or contour, just to kind of make sure everything's even, because inevitably I feel like one side or the other has more or less bronzer, and I never bronze up here. I usually forget to. I feel like bronze up on my forehead and down my neck and stuff, so I just like to hit those areas with the powder. So that's why I do it. I don't know if that's why people do blush and whatnot, but I think it's just more layers kind of helps it stay longer maybe? I don't know. How many palettes Nomad releases is the unpopular opinion that they hate? 3 before or even halfway through the year is wild for an indie. It is a lot, that is for sure. I honestly, my life is so hectic, I guess I haven't stopped to think about how many they've done when so far this year, but I did think about them just either I know I'm way behind. I think that's why I thought it was just a lot. But yeah, Nomad's been doing a lot recently. Last year they also did a ton, and this year they're looking to be just that many, but though they're going a lot more of a neutral route this year, which I think is fun because last year they were very loud and all the rainbows and whatnot, so this year taking more of a nature/neutral approach. So far I've been enjoying it. I was a little nervous when they told me that before I joined their affiliate program because I was like, oh no, I don't want to like waste your money, you know, you sending me your new releases if I don't like them. But so far I've really been enjoying their take on the more neutral, calm side of the color story and whatnot, the color wheel if you want to call it that. But I can understand why people would get annoyed. I'm gonna go in with this on my inner corner, this shade. I can totally understand that, but I don't know, I've always been like, get the releases that you want, and you know, you don't have to. I feel like some people feel like they need to get them all, which I think can be very overwhelming. So it can be hard if like you're wanting to get all the ones from Nomad Cosmetics and they're just constantly popping out palettes. I get it. I'm sure I can totally see why it's annoying. It's like Unearthly Cosmetics for me, especially last year. I don't know if it's so much this year, or maybe they are and I just have been so busy I haven't noticed, but I remember last year I felt like every time I was like, ooh, I want to try this from from Unearthly Cosmetics, and I was thinking about purchasing it, like a week or two later they'd be launching something else and I'd just be like, wait, we're launching a new palette already? So I can understand it from that aspect. I'm sure it would be annoying in the same way for Unearthly Cosmetics, just like it was a little of a jerky head, what's that, like a whiplash, that's the word I'm thinking of, like a whiplash effect for me with Nomad or with Unearthly Cosmetics last year. So I can understand how that would be frustrating with Nomad. Next one is watermelon tastes like dirty water. Oh, watermelon's delicious. I'm sorry it tastes like dirty water to you. You have to get a good one. Anytime my kids ask me to get a watermelon out of season, I'm like, no, it's just not gonna be worth it. It's gonna taste like, you know, watery nothing basically. But in season in the summer in Florida, watermelons are sweet, they're juicy, they're messy, so I don't love to eat them all the time. My kids do, so I get it for them, but I enjoy a good watermelon. I'm sorry it tastes like dirty water. That's sad. Fragrance in makeup, especially eyeshadow. Yeah, I don't get that either. Yeah, totally agree. I forgot highlighter. Let's do Glam Light. Yeah, I don't understand it either, especially since like fragrances can be an irritant, so why put that in makeup? Random collabs, example Fortnite. Oh, I forget which brand did Fortnite. Yeah, I don't understand the random collabs. I feel like ColourPop has got to be, maybe ColourPop was the one, but ColourPop is like ColourPop and Morphe, and Makeup Revolution. It's just like some of the collabs I'm just like, okay, I don't understand that. I feel like a collab makes more sense when it's with a creator, or like, I'm trying to think, like Scooby-Doo is cool because it was kind of like, not a creator, but they were people. I don't know. Random things like that, like, yeah, I get it. Sol de Janeiro Bum Bum Cream. I don't get the fascination with that scent. I do not either. So this is an unpopular opinion we absolutely share, because I remember trying it for the first time I got a sample, and I remember thinking before I got the sample of like buying that, like, what is it, $80, $90 cream? And I got a sample and I was like, oh my goodness, this is what everyone said is just mind-blowing. And this is back in like 2010, 2015, I can't remember. But I remember trying it and I was like gagging. The scent was so strong and the scent itself was not pleasant. I was just like, I don't get this at all. And it was like slimy and thick. Oh, I agree with you. I remember how much and this is, it must have been in 2010 because it was before I really got into YouTube. I remember people raving about it, and I'm just like, when I finally tried it, I was like, don't get it. I just want to like gag every time I smell that. Okay, I got one more. Let's do this lipstick in, oh, this is Sis. For the longest time, I thought this said Sisi or Sissy, S-I-S-I, until one day I was linking it and I realized it was Sis with an exclamation mark. So I've been saying it wrong and writing it wrong forever. This is Sis, not Sissy. Anyway, let me read the last one. Last one is completely neutral palettes. I'm sure it doesn't take a long look at my channel to know this, or for you to be following me very long to know this, but yeah, I'm not a fan of completely neutral. Like, I don't mind a neutral palette, especially for the days when I'm in a hurry or I'm not feeling inspired, when I just kind of want to, you know, blend in more and not be too loud with my makeup. And so I like the neutral palettes, but it still needs to have a pop of something, kind of like with this look. This is a very neutral look for me because it's all neutral except a tiny little pop of like that green that isn't even that loud. So I feel like this is an absolutely neutral look for me, but it still has a pop of something interesting. So that's same thing. I totally agree. Can't be completely neutral. And just to kind of give a little review of this, are the shimmers lovely? Yes. Have I experienced this type of smooth, beautiful, gorgeous, you know, sparkly shimmers in other indie brands? Yes. So it's beautiful, but I feel like you can get it much cheaper and much more colorful with indie brands. And then the mattes, I feel like the mattes are fine. I feel like I'm a little nitpicky here because it is a black, so it's just, I always struggle to blend out blacks to a nice gray. But for what it is, a black, I think it was just fine. Just to give a little Copacetic Cosmetics, that green saved this look for me for sure. So that's gonna do it. Let me go back and like do my hair like I mean it. Do the intro and outro, and well, do the intro and then we'll do the outro and close out this video. Be right back. All right, so that is going to be the video. I hope you enjoyed hearing my reactions to your guys' unpopular opinions. If you ever want to, you know, be able to participate in a video like this, I'm over on my Instagram, LadyKaty92, and I like to try to, you know, not very often. I'm trying to get better at it, but I do try to like throw out, you know, video ideas or things that I want your response to, that I can include you in videos, or even just asking your opinions on different type of videos or different type of palettes you'd like to see in my videos. If there's a new palette coming out and I'm not sure, I like to ask on my Instagram page and be like, hey, is this something you'd like to see a review on? So if you'd like to be able to participate in things like that, LadyKaty92, and I upload and share stuff in my stories throughout the day, so you can find me over there. But yeah, I had a ton of fun and I hope you guys did too. I really like how my makeup turned out. That little bit of green saved the look for me for sure. So with that said, that is gonna do it for me. Thank you so very much for joining me in this video today. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Find me over on LadyKaty92 over on Instagram, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys.